I'm tired of waiting for Elon Musk to do the right thing. He's not going to do the right thing. He's incapable of doing the right thing. He doesn't even know what the right thing is. He's confused about what free speech means. He clearly doesn't know what a free speech absolutist means. And so, it's just, yeah.
And he hasn't even told you, or he or anybody from Twitter hasn't even specified your alleged violation this time. Is that correct?
No, there's no tweet. They haven't said this tweet. They said you have violated Twitter rules. And
I'm saying what rule was violated. Or what the violation is. That is like the sickest version of censorship, just about.
Yeah, but how do you appeal? That's the thing. Yeah. How do you appeal this? But I did point out the hypocrisy of a guy claiming to care so much about children, and yet you sent $100 million to the Ukrainian government, Petro Poroshenko, saying that I will make the Ukrainian the children of the Donbass cower in a basement, and then sent artillery shells that killed 130 of them. And you care about children, you lying sack of hypocritical shit. And then he turns around and he sends up Starlink. And they know what Starlink's being used for. They know that it's being used to target, and they know that they're sending HIMARS using Starlink at civilian infrastructure in the Donbass, killing more children. So, hey, Elon Musk, fuck you and your children. Fuck you, Elon. Don't pretend to care about something when you don't. Because if you care about kids, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing, pal. You're killing kids. You, Elon. If there could be a legal case put forward, you would be complicit in it because you have provided the mechanisms that facilitate the death of children. You know it. You continue to do it. And you banned me from Twitter because I had the gall to come out and say, gosh, I want to get rid of nuclear weapons. So, yeah, fuck you, Elon.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Rescue Michigan Weekly live stream. It's Adam and Patty.
That was a lot of F-bombs.
Yeah, that was a lot of F-bombs. Well, Scott Ritter's not happy with Elon Musk. And
really? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I think that's a good lead-in topic because Twitter had a very, very interesting weekend with the premiere of What is a Woman?
Right? We're going to show it. We're not going to show it. We're going to show it. We're not gonna...
Yeah. They finally did the right thing after a lot of glitches at the very beginning. I have a whole almost chronicle of it on the Rescue Michigan Twitter feed from where things began, where Twitter was like breaching their agreements and everything and not letting users post it or share it or even bookmark the video. And then suddenly Elon starts promoting the video. And
that was weird.
And so I think what must have happened was Elon watched the movie and he just decided, okay, yeah, this is cool. And I think that's what Twitter's free speech policy honestly is if Elon says it's okay, then it's okay. I think that's his free speech policy is I'm the king. If it's something I don't like Scott Ritter or Alex Jones. And that's, by the way, what Scott was referencing earlier in that clip was when Elon banned Alex Jones from Twitter, or actually Alex Jones was already banned when
he was the first person banned, wasn't he? Or was it Milo?
He was already banned when Elon took over. But what Elon said was, I'm not going to unban Alex Jones because he said nasty things about Sandy Hook kids, and I've got kids, and I had a kid die in the hospital or something. I care about children, so therefore I'm not going to let Alex Jones back onto Twitter. Mm-hmm. And Scott Ritter's point was, that actually Elon, your Starlink is being used in Ukraine to kill children, but nevertheless, I mean, he's also, by the way, Elon's completely wrong about the Alex Jones case, which there was no trial. I mean, despite having submitted record amounts of discovery, the judge just said, you didn't give us everything that we think you have, therefore you get no trial, you're presumptively guilty, and there was no trial, there's only a sentencing. Mm-hmm. So the whole thing was a sham. And by the way, Daniel Lawless says, if you haven't seen What is a Woman, go watch it tonight. Yeah, well, don't leave our stream, guys, but after our stream is over,
because they can always watch this stream, but that's only free till midnight. So if you haven't watched it, although it's only 90 minutes, so you can watch us till 10, and then you can go watch the movie.
Well, we probably won't go past 10:30. We usually don't on these streams. But anyway, I mean, I had pre-written a bunch of stuff before What is a Woman came back on about how Twitter's never going to get out of this mess. And that's another thing too, is if they had held that ban on that movie, Twitter would have been in a real bad place at that point, because the liberals already hate it because of Elon allowing conservatives on there at all. And then if they had blocked What is a Woman, that would have been a nightmare of historical proportions.
Well, it's up to 167 million views as of
167 million. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I certainly don't hold Twitter out as a free speech platform. I think Tucker will have a problem if he tries to put his show on Twitter, because it's going to be whatever Elon says you can say, Tucker, you can say on Twitter. But we'll see.
We'll see. But, if they reach an agreement, maybe. But
yeah. But the other big story, though, is that 170 million some people have seen What Is a Woman now, which is absolutely extraordinary.
That's worldwide, right?
I think so, yeah. And who knows how they count views anyway. Like, I think if you just tune in for a few minutes, it counts it as a view. Oh. I don't know how they really count them. I don't know how they count them on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or anybody. By the way, hello, Twitter. We're live on Twitter tonight. But I don't think people watch us on Twitter. They watch us on like Facebook and Rumble. We are on Rumble, folks. We do see you there. So if you want to send us any questions or comments in the chat, we will do our best to try to read them. So we'll see.
Speaking of Twitter, did you see who made an endorsement tonight for president?
Who's that? Oh, Elon? Who?
Dorsey.
Jack Dorsey? Who do you endorse?
Kennedy,
nice. Yeah, he's going to be doing a Twitter thing
tomorrow at 2. Tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Is it going to be audio only like the DeSantis announcement was, or is it going to be actual video?
I think it's somebody was saying, I think it's just Spaces, which is audio, right? Only, but
I think so.
They need to do something, or at least video them. Well,
yeah,
do that. They don't even have to be in the same room, right? To do that.
No,
to do Spaces, you just log in. I don't know how it works.
I mean, it's so weird. Like, we're streaming to Twitter right now, so Twitter clearly has the ability to do video. So why aren't they? I don't understand it at all.
Well, Spaces allows people to join in. Like, if someone, like, we could have Lawless like audio in and make a comment. I think, instead of just typing. Yeah.
We'll have to have Daniel on the show sometime again.
Yeah,
he's been on the show before, hasn't he? I think he has.
I don't know. Have you, Lawless?
I think
should have asked him tonight. I could be sleeping.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I have trouble getting guests on sometimes. Sometimes I do the show all by myself, and it's very, very.
That's got to be boring. I know. I figure even if I'm a dud, at least I chime in every once in a while. Maybe it helps. I don't know.
Well, we had a good time this week. We were at the Milan Fair.
Oh yeah, that was Saturday. No.
That was Friday night. I was there Friday night. I was there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. It was a fun time. The Washtenaw County GOP shared a booth with the Monroe County GOP, and we were handing out literature and selling buttons and all that good stuff, and had a lot of good conversations. Had one interesting conversation. We met someone who was a 16-year-old girl who was detransitioning, and this stuff. If you've seen What Is a Woman, you know that this is a lot more pervasive than people realize.
The detransitioning,
transitioning and then detransitioning.
Right.
And she told us the whole story. She said, like, when she was 10 years old, she was depressed, and the doctors immediately put her on puberty blockers and said she was really a boy. And her mother was all about this. Apparently, she's some kind of muckety muck at U of M. And more recently, she decided she wanted to actually be the sex she was born, and the mother is suddenly not so supportive. And it's just.
Are you sure? Yeah, she's more. Are you sure? Were you asking her that before?
Yeah. When I mean, I have a similar story in my family. I have a cousin who was transitioning, and her father, my uncle, wanted a boy, and so he would never let her play with girls' toys. He would throw out dresses her aunts got her for Christmas, and now she's, I think, 16 or 17 years old and has a mustache, and it's a lot more common than people realize, and that movie got out, What Is a Woman, which has like probably more views than any other documentary has ever had. Yeah. Is going to enormously change the conversation. Because I had this feeling that when you go to people and tell them the Democrats have a bill in to allow kids to run away and get their genitals mutilated without their parents' consent, it sounds so absurd. People would be disinclined to even believe it.
That's why they don't. Just like Prop 3. No, it doesn't mean that. Yeah, it does mean that.
Yeah.
It doesn't not mean that, so it means it.
Yeah, there's a reason why that bill exists, folks. 4087. It's not, kids are running away and need health care. No, that's not what this was about. This was all about facilitating kids getting surgeries that their parents were opposed to. And it's nauseating, but the fact that movie got out, I mean, that's going to have a huge impact, and people need to use that, because like, I come from a liberal family. I can tell you, they're not happy about what's been done to my cousin. And
really,
oh no, they're very upset about that. Especially my aunts. Because, well, I should say my aunt and my dad's girlfriend were both just like furious about the whole thing. Yeah. So, I mean, it's such a huge thing. And once people know what's going on, the truth will set you free. So, I think we should use this to the nth degree. I showed you guys on the stream last week, the new flyer. I now have it in hand, and boy, is it sexy. Oh, that glossy paper. I love it. And yes, it says very prominently, there's number 2, introduce a bill, and it's on here too. The biggest nuttiest thing she's done is that bill she co-sponsored, and quite a number of Democrats have. I did actually put on our website now. In fact, I have to link it from the homepage, but I did link it in the email blast we sent out today. But I made available all of the underlying artwork for the flyer so that people can make one for their own state representative or even senator if you wanted to, because they've got a fair number of kooky bills that they've done. So there's the link there, rescuemichigan.com/oppo.php. It's linked in the email we sent out today. I'll put a link to it from the homepage too. So you've got the flyer itself, the artwork, and then there are like the background for the front page and the back page, and then the panels and the text. So if you want, you'll need someone a little bit of proficiency in using a paint program, but you can find someone that can do it. And just edit the text to suit your state rep. You can use the watchdog tools on our website to verify the record. Like all I did to make Jamie Church's flyer was I had to change a couple things around because she actually didn't sponsor that radical transgender bill. So we threw on allow automatic payroll deductions to be given to political campaigns. She co-sponsored that one. She knows she's in a tough district, so her office is being smart and not putting her name on all these bills. Regina Miller, I think, just thought she was untouchable for some reason. Ryan, going back to sorry, I got distracted by chat for a second there. But yeah, anyway, folks, use the Operation Watchdog tools to see what your state rep is up to. You just go to, it's linked from the homepage, but it eventually takes you here. And then you can look up your lawmakers' voting records. We've got them for everybody. The Operation Watchdog links are current to the present day. Every single vote, every single bill is in there. All the bills they've co-sponsored, all of the time, all of their votes are in here, all that stuff. So you can just change the content of the flyer, but yeah, I mean, this is the way to get the word out about things, and don't wait till next year to do it. We need to be starting like now. It's the weather's gorgeous outside. Time to start knocking on doors. Time to start that
candidate recruitment.
Yep, which also happens by knocking on doors too.
Yeah.
That's how you can find the right person, is going everywhere, talking to people. So I think what I'm going to do at some point this week is work out some kind of deal where people can order those in bulk from us if they want, or they can even order them and have us mail them for them to their, to like their entire precinct. So, depending on the size of your precinct, but you'll have probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 to 1,500 households, and we can mail those out. We can do all that for you if you can afford it. It's not that expensive. Reg Chapman says, just got my watchdog report. Why are elected precinct delegates listed as GOP activists? I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Reg, you can use the contact page on our website to send me an email, and I can try to figure out what you mean.
Does he mean his precinct list, his voter list, maybe?
Yeah, that wouldn't be the watchdog thing.
No, it wouldn't, but maybe he's just confusing the lingo. I don't know.
But why are elected precinct delegates should be presumptively GOP activists?
That's why I'm saying that, because that file does contain a flag for GOP activists. Yes.
Yeah. There's a column in the voter data that we also provide to people. You can get that at rescuemichigan.com when you sign up and get the list of all the voters in your precinct. And one of the columns is GOP activists, and you can identify some people who are likely to be interested in getting involved and helping out. Mike Foxtrot Oscar says, Reggie Miller for state representative. Never saw a Democrat bill she wouldn't sponsor. Yeah, that's true. And good for that, because that means, we can nail them on all these things before they've even had a vote on them. Because some of these bills, by the way, speaking of going back to talking about the radical transgender bill, I think we got our first legislative win of the year, because that bill hasn't seen any action in Lansing whatsoever since that first email we did about stopping the Child Sexual Mutilation Act. They had a hearing in the committee, never got a vote out of committee. But then, as I was saying, you never know what's going to happen in lame duck. So no bill is really safe. So we're going to have to keep the pressure on. But yeah, I mean, that's an example of the power of informing and mobilizing voters. For people that say, I don't sign petitions, they don't do anything, and nobody reads them. Well, this is yet another example of events in Lansing changing because suddenly a lot of people are contacting their lawmakers and telling them, we know what's in that damn thing. Don't you do it. So anyway, yeah, that was a good time at the Milan Fair handing out literature. Hope everybody.
I never got an elephant ear, but
don't do things.
Or lemonade. Well.
I did finally ride that crazy. There's it wasn't a roller coaster. It was like a thing that just takes you up and down 100 feet in a big circle as you're also spinning around. So you're going upside down over and over and over again. That was like crazier than any roller coaster I've ever ridden. It was nuts. It was really intense. It was neat. So yeah, lots of fairs coming up. If you guys don't know how to do this, like look up all your townships and cities and counties and make a listing of all the fairs coming up because these are prime events to reach out to people. So yeah, that was a good time. What else happened this week? Oh, an article came out. You know, someone sent me this and it was, I'll put it back up on the screen. This article, meet the nonpartisan, quote unquote, dark money group rigging Michigan elections so Democrats can't lose. When I first saw this, I was like, oh, everybody knows Voters Not Politicians is a Democrat front. And the guy was like, I didn't know that. And he was a big GOP activist. So if you folks haven't seen this story, this is the group that ran the redistricting campaign, and then they ran Prop 2. So you should probably know about them. It's a group that just launders out-of-state money towards making changes to Michigan's constitution for the worst. And there's a whole article about them. You can check it out at the Federalist. Just came out a few days ago. So yeah, Voters Not Politicians. I can't believe people don't know that's a Democrat front. Raymond says 4th of July events. Yep, absolutely.
Yep, parades if they let.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm not going to just read the article to you, but if you haven't seen this, you don't know about Voters Not Politicians. This is one to share and send around because apparently a lot of people don't know about this, and it's a big deal because they're going to be lobbying for something next election. Rumor has it National Popular Vote's their next play. So that might be on the ballot next year. Which won't take effect for the next election, so I don't know what they think they're going to accomplish with that, but that's what they're going to try to do. Going to make it so that
they don't care. They play the long game. They play the long game. Doesn't matter. Right?
Yeah, except that a Republican might actually win the popular vote next time around and not win the electoral vote.
Let's not get carried away.
Well, I mean, Reagan won the popular vote. You know, it could go either which way. Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, the reason why the Democrats are doing this is because Trump didn't win the popular vote in 2016. So this is it's all part of the get Trump mentality. What else we got this week? Oh, we got a new bill in Lansing. There has not been a huge amount of new bills lately, which is a good thing. They were just at the Mackinac Policy Conference, getting wasted with lobbyists for the past weekend. The last bill that was introduced, this is the very newest bill, folks. This bill I mean, you can see that if you go to you see where my mouse cursor is on the screen here. There's no right arrow because this is the very newest bill in the Michigan House. Just got introduced on May 30th. And the sponsor, there's only one sponsor. There's no co-sponsors. And it's a bill to allow school board meetings to be done electronically so that they don't have to hear from these angry parents anymore at all their school board meetings. If public bodies are either not elected or non-compensated, and to my knowledge, school boards aren't paid, then they get to meet electronically. And I've heard from plenty of people the stories about how when they have these electronic meetings, they can just kick people out. So another shameful remnant of the COVID hysteria is vastly attacking the ability of the requirements that public bodies be actually subjected to the public.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're so sick of this public comment session stuff, they want to just cancel it all.
Yep.
So there's the bill to do that. And we'll see if it goes anywhere. We might even do an email or two to campaign against it. preemptively, because despite only having one sponsor, that does not mean a bill's not going someplace. But
I'm sorry, I missed that. Who's the sponsor?
Fitzgerald, some Democrat from somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know where it is. The 83rd district, I think I just saw it said, but I don't know where the 83rd is.
Okay.
I could look it up, I guess, but I don't know.
It's not important. It's no one. I don't recognize them. It's not from around here.
Yep. So
I mean,
at any rate,
I shouldn't say it's not important, but it's not critical right now to know who he is.
Mark says, by me being on the Highland Park School Board, I am on the Bylaws and Resolutions Committee of the Michigan Association of School Boards. Cool, man. Tell us what they're up to anytime. I'd be interested to know if there's any talk about this bill, if there's any interest in moving this bill forward. And Mark also asked, do I think the Michigan Association of School Boards tend left? Absolutely they do. The Michigan Clerks Associations tend left, and we have mostly Republican clerks in the cities and townships.
We do?
In Michigan. But every government institution leans to the left. All of them do. Always. They all want more money. They all want more control. They all want less accountability. So yeah, they by their nature lean left, and that's compounded by the fact that conservatives just tend not to want to get involved in government. They want to leave people alone and be left alone, so they don't engage. Mm-hmm. And even private organizations, I think it was Ann Coulter who used to say, probably still says, every organization that isn't expressly conservative will be taken over by liberals sooner or later. Whether it's, and of course we see this, Boy Scouts, Disney, everything. Jay says, electronic meetings have intrinsic flaws, and on top of that, a shocking number of people are really bad at using technology, which makes electronic meetings worse. Yeah, you remember I'm a lawyer, not a cat, Your Honor. Do you remember that story? Mm-mm. You remember that story? I'm gonna see if I can find the clip. It's hilarious. So there was a guy who was doing an electronic court appearance. He was an attorney, but his kid had been using Zoom before he was, and they put out a filter on to speak as a cat, and so the guy shows up in court to defend his client, and he has a cat filter on. Yeah, here. Let me see if I can find the video. Okay, I think I've got it here. Let's see. Hold on. Can I make it full screen? Oh, this is probably not going to have the audio unless I undo this. Sorry, folks. This is the way the internet's work sometimes. Yeah, okay, I found the clip. Hold on. Share screen. Yeah, here we go.
Mr. Taunton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings. You might want to
we're trying to. Can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it. Yes, I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I can see that. I think
it's very up top.
Yeah, the guy in the top right is losing it.
His eyes are so
I'm
cute.
a lawyer, Your Honor, not a cat.
His eyes are like, oh.
Yeah, and then of course there's the Jeffrey Toobin incident. Somehow that guy's still on.
Yeah.
Well, does he still have a job? I think he still has a job. He didn't lose his job over it.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, meeting remotely is, in my view, was unacceptable even during COVID, frankly. But it's certainly not acceptable now. But of course, there's every excuse for all the stuff that they did in COVID going on forever, including the spending, by the way. Should we talk about that? That's the big national story this week, was the budget deal. I'm not actually honestly sure what to make of it. I know, I mean, the response I think everybody's had is this is a BS deal, and the Republicans got rolled. And I'm inclined to think that too, although I'm not entirely sure. Thomas Massey supported it and said, oh, there's tools in here. And Massey's not an idiot. And I wonder if there's more to it. I saw Justin Amash very publicly disagreed with him and said, no, because as long as they pass an omnibus budget deal, then the mandatory spending cuts won't take effect. So all they got to do is pass a budget deal, which doesn't sound like an easy thing for them to do. So I don't know. I'm kind of reserving judgment on this.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah. I mean, the idea is we're going to raise the debt limit now, but then we're putting tools in place that will make it a lot easier for us to have leverage in the future. I don't know if I buy it. But it, it's strange to me that Massey would be on board with this if he wasn't right about this. I'll pull up the Massey comments about this and see what people think. Folks in the chat, let me know what you think about this. I remember noticing though, Massey has not been tweeting as much as he used to. I think he probably got some bad ratios recently. But here's where'd it go? Why is this not coming up on the screen? I have to that's strange. Oh, okay, now StreamYard's done spazzing out. Okay, that was fun. All right, so anyway, here's what Thomas Massey says about the budget deal. Where's his main tweet? I've been in Congress for a decade. This is the first real bill that cuts spending. It also includes a 1% cut to spending on January 1st if Congress doesn't pass the 12 appropriations bill. Yeah, Barry says Lisa McClain's office said it's not perfect, but moves the needle. We'll see. And I wouldn't take Lisa McClain's word on this. She does not have credibility with me. Thomas Massey does, though. Let's see here. I'm trying to find. He had some bigger thread about this. Here we go. At least 5 things Congress calls spending budget from the budget committee. Blah blah blah. Anyway, this goes on. I'm not going to read the whole thing word for word. I'll just say I'm going to reserve judgments. I have a feeling. I don't know. I'm leaning towards this is going to be a raw deal because I don't think
it's got to be. We're always like, oh, it moves the needle, or oh, this and that. No.
Yeah.
That's not what they do.
Liked it. Yeah, but so did Joe Biden and so did the Democrats, and that's extremely suspicious. I mean,
right.
Some of them were howling, but I don't know. There was a story, I forget where I saw it, but there was some story about how the Biden White House engineered this as a big ploy. So I don't know. Bill Hamilton says, what is wrong with Lisa McClain? You know what? I'll have to get back to you on that one, Bill, and maybe do a review of her for next week. I know I've seen things she's voted for that have upset me, and I know she is not in like the Freedom Caucus group. So I'll get back to you on that, Bill. I will do my due diligence. We'll talk about Lisa next week. And maybe we should really do a rundown of the entire congressional delegation. That might be interesting because I've seen some things that surprised me. John Molinar has been surprisingly good, oddly. He's, I think, the only representative from Michigan that's sponsored. It was either the bill to prevent central bank digital currency or there was something else. I'll have to go back and look. Yeah, we'll do a program maybe next week where we'll talk about the whole congressional delegation because if we focus so much on Lansing on this show, but I know that Congress is up to a lot of things. So we will do a deeper dive on that next week. In fact, I'm going to make a note so I don't forget. While I'm doing this, I'll do another thing I always forget to do on the show, which is remind everybody to hit that like button, leave comments. Those always help the algorithm out. And of course, you can share them around too. And yeah, so if you like this kind of content, help more people see it. What else has been going on in the news this week? Oh, there was some random nutcase put in a request to the UN to call for $5 million per descendant of slavery in reparations.
Oh my God.
And this is on top of California just did something equally ridiculous. It's not actually appropriated.
Pass out there though.
Huh?
I don't think it passed in California.
Well, there's no appropriation for it, but some panel approved it or something. It's just that there's no money in the account to be taken from it. But I mean, I think all of this is to lay the groundwork for more racist legislation. I don't think they actually realistically think they're going to give every descendant of slavery, which they won't be able to prove.
Mm-hmm.
$5 million a person. I mean, the numbers are astronomical.
Yeah.
It's like Zelensky asking for 50 Patriot batteries this week. He's up his ask. Maybe we should talk about some Ukraine stuff. It's been a crazy week in Ukraine too. The war is going very badly for the Ukrainians, and they're getting more and more desperate. There's been like terror attacks in Russia and stuff like that. But yeah, hey, by the way, it's June. It's June, and there's been no spring offensive to speak of yet. They keep it was supposed to be in March, then it was in April, then it was May. Now it's June. Still no sign of anything or anything that it's possible that what we're seeing happening right now is like literally all Ukraine can muster as an offensive. But I don't know. The politicians seem to get pretty antsy about this stuff now. Like there was what we talked about. I think we talked last week, didn't we, about Lindsey Graham going to visit.
Yeah, Blinken said something.
Yeah,
so Grinnell was saying how your Secretary of State is supposed to try to find diplomacy.
Yeah,
you're not the Secretary of Defense, basically. I don't know.
Oh, these people are on the. I mean, I think Lindsey Graham going to see Zelensky. The what he really was saying was, "Bitch, where the fuck's my offensive?" Or maybe Lindsey Graham said, "Bitch, where the f is my offensive?" But here's one from Victoria Newland. This was, I think, from just a few days ago. Let me put this up on the screen.
There's no sound.
Oh, there's no sound. Well, okay, but at least with the captioning, I guess probably people got the point. This offensive that we've been planning with you for 4 and 5 months now. Again, it's like, where's our damn offensive? Where's our offensive? And Ukraine, the story's good. Like every day is like one story. Zelensky, we're gonna launch the offensive any day now, and then the same day there'll be someone in Zelensky's administration saying we don't have enough weapons for the offensive yet. Let's we'll just wait till we get those F-16s and 50 Patriot batteries, which, by the way, Patriot battery costs him $1 billion. So he's asking for $50 billion worth of Patriot missiles. It's like, yeah, sure, buddy. Somewhere I was seeing there's some analyst who was talking about that what Zelensky is up to now is that he realizes the politicians in Europe have already spent so much money on this that they're in trouble if Ukraine loses. So he's trying to shake them down for more. But I don't know. The Biden administration keeps saying, we need that offensive. We need that offensive. I don't think the offensive is happening. I mean, Russia just made big offensives in Marinka, which, remember, we had Scott Ritter on this show a few months ago, and there was I played a video that included a picture of like what looks like an entire city completely leveled. That was Marinka. And Putin, like this week, just said, all right, Chechnya, the Chechens, who are like one of the nastiest fighters in the army, take Marinka out, go in there and liberate it right now. Marinka, Avdiivka, I think, and then what was the other one? I think Kupiansk was I wrote it down someplace. Yeah, they're advancing in all these places. And Ukraine's answer is like a few pinprick terror attacks, like right across the Russian border. It's like, well, you guys are going to get headlines for it, but that's not going to change what the outcome of the war is. It's just making Russia more determined to keep on fighting. So it's just bizarre. And then, there was the G7 meeting the other day too. And Modi, the Prime Minister of India, just laid into Zelensky so bad. He's like, we are not going to get involved in this conflict. Stop trying to pressure us. It's not going to happen. And then Zelensky just stood up Lula altogether. And Lula said, I'm not disappointed. I'm angry. I mean, there's a lot of, there's a whole realignment happening now. And the whole world is just like, we do not want to get into the West war. And yeah, it just grinds on. So we'll see what happens next week, but it is not looking good. And Russia's attriting Ukraine, they're attriting the NATO forces, and they're even wearing us down. So yeah, Barry says Biden's tumbling routine at the grad ceremony. Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
The sandbag.
He talked to the Air Force graduates, and then he went for a flight. That was such a bad fall too. It was embarrassing. What else is happening? What else do I have on my list of stuff to talk about this week? I think I might have gotten through almost everything. Wow. I looked at my list and I was like, this is a huge list of topics, but I don't know. We can always check out, the best source of I have another clip I wanted to play. Let me fix this so I can actually. Well, I don't know if I'm bringing this one in. No, it's just a comment from somebody on a talk show talking about how Russia didn't actually really lock down during COVID. But yeah, that does remind me. I did want to cover some news on the COVID cover-ups. There's been a lot of things coming out this week, which brings me to our favorite place to get news. That is the Rescue Michigan Twitter feed. And let's see, where was it here? There was a couple of things. James Hetfield. Never mind that. Oh, since I saw it, this is a funny one. No, there's no need for audio for this clip, just because it's all in Ukrainian anyway. But yeah, this is Ukraine has a transgender AK-47. So there you go. There is the Ukrainian transgender AK-47.
Did we send them that?
We paid for it, I guess.
Oh, well, okay,
but so that's what Ukraine has. Meanwhile, this is what Russia has. And again, no need for audio because it's all in Russian, but there's subtitles. It's a sniper rifle that can hit a target. It's 1,700 meters, which, those who don't know, that's an extremely, extremely long distance to be able to shoot accurately from with any rifle at all. I mean, only really sniper rifles can hit accurately beyond 500 yards. And this thing, 1,850 meters. Dang. So that's a heck of a beast. Anyway, that was, sorry for getting distracted. Here we go. Literally 3 days after Biden took office, the White House launched a pressure campaign to suppress supposed COVID misinformation. The Surgeon General launched his signature disinformation initiative at the Stanford Internet Observatory. So that was one story. Another one here on
there was something in the UK. The Telegraph UK did a story about.
Did they?
Yeah, about their censoring there too.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. I mean, everything.
You don't follow James Woods?
I see his tweets now and again.
Oh.
Let me catch up on some tweets. Pam Bycraft says, last term she was awful, this year better. Oh, talking about Lisa McLean, I think. Okay, cool. Well, if people have any stories they want to share about Lisa McLean, please do. That's on Rumble. And then Tim Kuhn says, Modi has another problem now. You'll have to elaborate. I see he says vivid resurgence in China, COVID in China. Well, that's not India's problem. India hates China. So I don't know about that. But let me know, Tim, if there was something else you were referring to. Tim also says Biden administration moving closer to Iran deal. I don't know where you saw that, Tim. I find that hard to believe because Iran's been selling weapons to Russia, and that's a quick way to get on the U.S. government's shit list. So yeah. What else did I? Anyway, something else. Oh, this clip. Okay, I need to get the audio for this one because this is nuts. This is the woman who's the new director of the CDC, and this is going to blow your minds when you see this. Okay, I think I've got the audio working now. Let me make this full screen.
It was like conversations.
Hold on, here we go.
So I would call, probably the person I called most was the Secretary of Health and Human Services in Massachusetts. She worked for a Republican governor just to, but when she was like, are you going to let them have professional football? And I was like, nope. And she's like, okay, neither are we. It was like conversations like that. So, or I'd be like, so when are you going to think about lightening up a mess? They're like next Monday. I'm like, okay, next Monday. So I would call, probably the person I called most was the Secretary of Health and Human Services in Massachusetts.
All right, I need to hear the clip over again. Yeah, I like the comment here. Turns out following the signs is just two junior high girls checking in to see what the other is wearing to the party. How sick is that? That's the CDC director. These people should never be taken seriously again. Huh?
She replaced Walensky?
Yeah. So there was that. Was there anything else about COVID this week? I thought I saw something else, but let me
Johnson & Johnson is officially like off. What did I read today? I thought it was already off like a while ago, but not the non-recommended list. Or it lost its emergency use use authorization.
I don't know. I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should, before we do our shows, we should actually like swap articles. We have the chance to read each other's stuff.
We should
That's
actually.
probably a good idea. Yeah. Oh, and then there, was this the story you were telling me about earlier, or you were mentioning earlier? This one, British UK government worked with the BBC, Google, and
Yeah. Schellenberger. Yep.
Yeah. So check out all of these stories and more at your best place for news, the Rescue Michigan Twitter feed, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. So I guess that's about it for this week. We'll see what happens when they return in Lansing. I think I'm going to start ramping up our email output again. It's been, I always say, oh, I'm too busy. We got this and this and this and this, and I got to stop making excuses because there's so many more bills to light up. There was Great Lakes Gun Rights just did an announcement about there's some new, well, it's not new, but there was another gun ban that was introduced a while ago that they're now worried about moving forward. Let me see if I can find it here. It is, let's see here. Oh, the local gun bans. Well, that's what it was. Yeah, there's a bill in the House and the Senate to allow local governments to ban guns, which would make it impossible for anybody to know what the law is at any given moment. When you're, if you're traveling through Michigan, you're going to be subjected to like jurisdiction after jurisdiction after jurisdiction and make it completely unsafe to ever have a gun anywhere. And those are the bills in the House and the Senate. We can look and see who co-sponsored those. Let's see here. It's Senate Bill 208, House Bill 4198. So let me just go to our little website here. In fact, I added some new tools to the Operation Watchdog this past week. Let me pull it up here. You go to Operation Watchdog, which is linked from our homepage here under the bill search. You can actually just put in the bill number and poof, there you go. Look at all these co-sponsors. That's the local gun bans bill. Betsy Kofia, who's in a really tough district in Traverse City. Then a whole bunch of other Democrats co-sponsored that bill. And then what was the Senate bill, did I say? 302, or maybe I said 202. No, it's not that one. No, it's not that one. What was that number again? Hold on. I can find it here. Was 208. That was it. 208. Which is, yeah. So again, whole bunch of Democrats co-sponsoring. I think Veronica Kleinfeld's in a tight district, but obviously they don't have elections until 2026.
Oh, Paul Hankey. Oh, Rosemary Bear. That's our girl.
Yeah, she's a nutcase, but she's term limited now, so there's nothing to do but wait her out. Tim Kuhn mentions the CCP battery plants. Yeah, that's another good one for if you make your own lit piece to put on there for the dossier. And I think I did mark off which budget bill that was. So if I go to, I'll show you, there's another tool I added this past week for viewing recorded votes. And if you look, there's none for June yet because they haven't taken any votes in June. But you can now read through the every roll call vote in the House and the Senate. And I think, let me see if let's try this. My find's not working. Okay, here we go. There's the roll call vote. Senate roll call vote 260. Republican amendment to prohibit funds from going to communist Chinese companies failed 18 to 20. That means all of the Democrats voted against that, which means and they voted for the budget bill too. So all of the Democrats voted for allowing funds to go to communist Chinese companies. There it is, folks. I did your homework for you. You're welcome. So. Well, if you want to help me do these things, join Operation Watchdog. Just go to that Rescue Michigan homepage, click the link for Operation Watchdog, and you can sign yourself up right there. We meet every Tuesday night online and go over the latest things. We're going to probably have a report out soon about some of the other things that were in the state budget. So we'll talk about that maybe next week. So there you go. All right. I think that about does it for this week. Is there anything else, chat? Anything I missed? Anything you guys want to talk about? Let me know. What else is happening? I think that's probably about enough for 1 week, I would think. We got a lousy debt ceiling deal. We got
what's coming up this week? Anything coming up besides Twitter Spaces tomorrow?
I don't know of anything in particular in Lansing. Oh, yes, I do. There was something that's coming up in Lansing. And let me just check if someone alerted me about this. Hold on, I'll pull this up. Let's see here. It was hate crime legislation might come up this week. Dana Nessel's expected to testify in a committee about that. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Yep, thought crimes legislation, folks. Mm-hmm. All right, well, I think that about does it for this week. Anything else I don't see in the chat? So yeah, until next time, thanks as always for all you guys do for liberty.
Go watch
that artwork. Yeah, go watch What Is a Woman? Go get this artwork, get these flyers made, folks. This is the stuff we need to put into voters' hands so they know what their lawmakers are actually doing. And we will, at some point this week, provide some way for if you don't have a printer to do it yourself. Maybe what's this? I meant to actually see what that link went to, but it didn't. It just put it on the screen. And I hesitate to just open.
Don't open it.
Yeah, I don't like to just open links on the stream if I don't know what they are. It's some kind of opinion piece, I guess, because it's linked from the Jerusalem Post. But you guys can look it up on your own if you want. So
Ivanka was. Speaking of, Ivanka was and Jared were in Greece on vacation on their way to a wedding in Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah.
Of the Crown Prince, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know the Saudis absolutely hate Joe Biden, and Trump was good at being friendly with those people. So I'm not surprised they.
Was he the guy that was in Vegas?
Who?
Wasn't he the guy that was in Vegas just before the Route 91 Country Music Festival? Remember?
Oh, I don't know.
He was in Mandalay Bay that night or the night before.
Before what, the Vegas shooting? Mm-hmm. Oh wow, interesting. Barb says, yes, I just saw your flyer in my email. It's great. I'll tell you what though, it's even better in print. So
I saw it. I can vouch for it.
so get some flyers, folks. If you can't make them yourself, we'll let you know in the future how you can order them from us.
Is it adjustable if you don't have 10 things to put on the back?
I will, depending on how we can do this, but I can almost just put 10 things for almost anybody out of it or on the flyer. Otherwise,
I mean, you probably can at this point. You're right. Just curious. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anybody can just take the design and run with it and do whatever they want to it. I mean, I actually kind of stole the design idea with this 10 things from an Americans for Prosperity flyer. We talked about that one last week on the show.
Right,
you guys can check it out. But I like our content better. So, but it was impressive to get 10 things onto one side of a flyer. So that's the way to do it. Mm-hmm. So there you go. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Let's hope that Twitter continues to do the right thing with their censorship, although I'm not all that optimistic. But I mean, it could be interesting. You know, I think maybe Elon's mind was changed a little bit based on that whole debacle. So we'll see what happens. We'll see, because Twitter's going to be in a real bind if they abandon the entire premise of the Elon's takeover was for free speech. And as Scott Ritter pointed out, Elon doesn't understand free speech. Mm-hmm. So, all right, guys, as always,
I'm checking to see how many views we're at right now.
On What Is a Woman?
Yeah.
You know what? I should also mention that the Washington GOP is going to be screening What Is a Woman. We did this a few months ago, and it was great. And there's a lot of students that they're going to try to. We had a ton of young people come to our Lincoln Day dinner the other night, and so they're going to do a screening of What Is a Woman, and that I think we'll probably get that posted to our website tomorrow. But that's going to be on Thursday the 15th. No.
It must be slowing down because it's still at 167. It was at 167 when we started, and it was going up.
Wow.
Fairly.
Sometimes
quickly.
Those numbers don't update all the time.
It seemed like it was updating by the 0.1s, like quite frequently, but maybe it's done now. Depends. It's almost 10. I don't know when they're going to stop.
Yeah. If you haven't seen What Is a Woman, you should definitely see it tonight. It's extremely powerful. And we're going to be screening it, I think, Thursday the 15th at the Washtenaw County GOP office. So you should definitely check that out. In fact, I think what we'll do to close the show is, if I can find it here.
Oh, Zuby watched it.
Huh?
You follow him, Zuby Music? He watched it. He tweeted, fantastic.
That was his first time watching it? Yeah, it is a great movie. Very, very powerful. In fact, what I'm going to do to close the show is play a clip of a focus group watching the movie. Matt Walsh tweeted this out today. He said, "We knew the film was explosive just based on how the focus group reacted to it." So we will play that out to end the show. And until next time, guys, thanks as always for all you do for liberty. And until next time, peace. Oh, here we go.
No sound.
There's no sound? Was there no sound, guys? Was there no sound, people? Chat, let me know. Was there no sound, or did you guys hear sound? I heard sound, but sometimes my sound lies to me. Tim Kuhn says you too.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means. It's a crappy globalist band. Okay,
no
yeah,
sound.
No sound.
Thank you, Dan.
All right, let's see what I can do here. I thought I did it properly the first time. Share screen. Entire screen. Let's see if this does the trick. All right. All right, here we go. See you guys.
No sound.
You're killing me. Still no sound. All right, screw it. Go to our Twitter feed. Watch it there. Good night, guys. See you later.